We're going to follow the story of one person, a single individual on a harrowing journey through the German war machine on the Eastern Front. We're going to watch as he climbs the ranks, not through skill or bravery necessarily, but through pure, agonizing survival. This is what it was like.
And really, that's the core question here. This isn't about grand strategies or battle plans. It's about the slow, methodical grinding down of a person. One rank, one frozen winter, one dead friend at a time.
And this is where it all starts for you. You're 19. A couple of months ago, you were working in a factory. Now, you're in a trench in Belarus. It's freezing cold, and someone's just handed you a rifle. Your old life? It's just gone.
So, your first identity in this new world is Grenadier. It's the most basic infantry rank there is. You're the new meat. They give you a rifle, some ammo, and a uniform that feels like it's already starting to fall apart.
Okay, let's just break this down, because the numbers here tell a brutal story. Your pay, 30 Reichsmarks a month. That's probably less than you were making back at the factory. You're in a squad of 10 guys, but the veterans tell you, hey, don't bother learning everyone's name. Why? Well, there's a 50% chance you'll be dead or wounded inside of 6 months, and you get to do all this in temperatures that hit minus 36 Celsius.
Just surviving the winter becomes your full-time job. I mean, your boots, they freeze into solid blocks of ice every single night. You're stuffing old newspapers into your jacket, anything for a little extra insulation. And the things you see, they have nothing to do with combat. You watch medics saw off a man's frostbitten toes with no anesthesia. The man is just screaming. The medic doesn't even wash his hands because, well, there's no soap. If you live through this, it is pure dumb luck.
And if you are one of the lucky ones, you get promoted. But let's be clear, these first promotions, they're not a reward. They're basically just a sign that you're still standing while the guy next to you isn't.
So a year passes. You're 20 now. You're a Gefreiter, kind of like a Lance Corporal. You're not the terrified kid anymore. You've learned the real rules, the ones they don't teach you in training. You know how the system actually works.
And this right here, this sums up your new education perfectly. Your survival now depends on reading people. You figure out which officers are just trying to make a name for themselves, the ones who'll get you killed, and which ones actually care about keeping you alive. That knowledge is worth more than any medal.
And here's the number that hangs over everything you do. 80%. 80% of all German military deaths in the entire war happen right here on this front. You learn real quick that every friend you make is probably a temporary one.
To deal with all this, you have to build walls in your mind. You see things, awful things, things done to prisoners, and you just learn to look away. You just don't think about it. It's the only way to stay sane. It's a heavy kind of armor to wear.
You make it through another year, and you get promoted again to Unteroffizier, a squad leader. Now 10 guys are looking to you, and the German army has this doctrine, Auftragstaktik. It's a fancy word, but it basically means your superiors tell you what to do, but not how to do it. That's on you. The responsibility is just immense. But this new rank comes with a dark side, a really dark side. One day, you're ordered to execute a deserter, a German soldier, and you do it. You don't hesitate, because you've heard the stories. You know the Reich executed 15,000 of its own men. Hesitating doesn't just make you look weak, it can get you put on that same list. You survive. You prove you're competent, and so you get pushed up into the roles that are the real spine of the army, where the weight of command is almost too much to bear.
So now you're a Feldwebel, a platoon sergeant. 50 men look to you for everything. They call you the mother hen. And just look at this list. It's not just paperwork. You handle their pay, sure. You split up the food. But then you have to decide who goes on the next patrol. You're deciding who might not come back. And when they don't, you're the one who goes out and collects their dog tags.
Eventually, they're so short on officers, they make you one, a lieutenant, and you find out a terrifying truth about your new job. This quote, it says it all. You are completely and utterly expendable.
And well, this number is a real gut punch. By 1944, the average junior officer spot on the Eastern Front has been replaced 9.2 times. That means you're the 9th guy, maybe the 10th to wear this uniform, to have this job. You're not really an individual anymore. You're just a placeholder. Being a lieutenant, it's practically a death sentence. But if you somehow manage to defy those insane odds and survive that, your role completely changes. You're not really a frontline fighter anymore. You've become a manager, overseeing an industrial-scale operation of retreat and loss.
As a Hauptmann, a captain,
You're in charge of 180 men. Now, the Wehrmacht was smart about this. They made sure officers shared the exact same hardships. You eat the same food, you sleep in the same mud. But you carry a burden they don't. You're the one writing all those letters home to their families, running out of ways to say he died bravely when really, he just died horribly. You know your company has been wiped out and replaced 3 times over.
You're promoted to major, and you get sent west, just in time for D-Day. And the collapse is immediate. Look at this timeline. In just 1 month, 28 generals in your area are killed or captured. Then someone tries to assassinate Hitler. A wave of terror sweeps through the officer corps. By August, your unit is labeled combat ineffective. Your new replacements? They're 17-year-old boys.
And so, here we are, the final act. The ranks are almost meaningless now. The war is lost, everyone knows it, and the end of everything is just around the corner.
Against all logic, they make you a general. But in a losing war, what does that even mean? Well, this chart basically shows your options. You can tick off Hitler and get fired, you can face the truth and kill yourself, or you can just keep fighting until you're killed. On average, a German general was dying every 2 weeks at this point. The war is lost, but saying it out loud is a death sentence.
And then, on May 8th, 1945, it stops. The final numbers are just staggering. Over 5 million German soldiers dead. And as this chart shows, the vast majority of them, 4 million, died right back where you started, on the Eastern Front. And another 3 million are now prisoners of the Soviets.
But for you, the war, it still isn't over. You're a prisoner of war. The surrender is not the end of the suffering. In fact, the last German prisoners wouldn't come home from the Soviet camps until 1956. That's 11 more years. 11 years after the shooting stopped.
The man who started this whole thing as a 19-year-old factory worker is now middle-aged. The ranks are meaningless, the uniforms are gone, the oaths he swore are just dust. But it leaves us with one last haunting question. For the very few who actually made it all the way through this, did the war ever really, truly end?